Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. So, guys, listen. As you guys know, I come on every morning, Monday through Friday at 6:15. I would love it when you guys start realizing it and start joining me, hanging out with me at 6:15 every morning, Monday through Friday. But listen, it's really not about me. It's really not about me. It's really about God and the great things that He's doing. And right now, I believe God wants to restore relationships. Like He really has pressed on my heart this, like everything about marriage and love and relationships. So this morning, I want to talk to you guys about one of the most difficult things to do in a relationship, and that is to forgive. Now, last night, a Bible study, I go to Word Tab here in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and Pastor taught about reconciliation and the importance of forgiving. So I'm just going to kind of put my own spin on that message because forgiveness for me, I learned, is a journey. It is not a one and done. I would love to believe that it's a one and done, but my experience has been that it is a process. And the process being that you can forgive or you can believe that you've forgiven and then get triggered and then all of the maybe hurt and disappointment shows up again. But you don't have to react or respond to the triggers. You don't have to allow the triggers to take you all the way back to where you used to be in this situation. So, just full disclosure, a little bit about my story, in the sense of marriage and relationships and forgiveness and restoration is 12 years into our marriage. My husband and I found ourselves in a situation I never thought we would be in. He had gotten into an emotional affair with a woman, and I found out about it. And it was devastating, right? It's absolutely devastating. I always say that betrayal breaks our brain. Like it will cause us to now question everything, like looking back over the past. And Pastor did a really good job last night talking about how that happens, how now the one deceit that has happened in the moment now makes you question, makes your mind go back and question every little thing. And so I understand that. So if you are a woman who's watching this and you've been through that, and even a guy, and you've been through that, understand that you're not by yourself and that you're not crazy. Like it's not crazy to feel like everything that you thought was real isn't real when you get hit with betrayal. Betrayal is it's a horrible beast. It's a horrible sin. And it, like I call it, like it breaks your brain. It will shift your entire reality and make you struggle to trust everything that is real and right now. So how do you forgive that? How do you come out of that? Because after going through a process of working with my coach and my husband going to his therapist, I was able to forgive my husband. And when I say forgive, I mean forgive, not to forget, right? Forget, I don't believe that's biblical. Forgetting is just, I know not to throw it in his face, like it's not an open wound. So how do I know that I've forgiven? Because I can talk about it and it doesn't hurt. I can have conversations with my husband about it, and there's no emotion attached to it anymore. So for me, the way I know that I've forgiven something is that this is how I say it. The pain no longer has me, I have the pain. So I believe that when we learn to heal and forgive, the pain don't use us, we use the pain. The Bible says that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and called according to his purpose. When we learn to shift and we learn to heal from the past, the pain of our past, I believe then that is what God will allow us to use to build our testimony, maybe our ministries, build our businesses, our stories. I know so many people who built a business based on pain. So if you have ever heard of it, there's a ministry called Divorce Care and another one called Grief Share. I used to work for the company. Steve Grissom is the man who created that. Steve Grissom created Divorce Care because when he was faced with divorce, as a Christian man, and he was shocked by it, he was hurt by it. No ministry exists to help him through it. So there he was, just him and God, like he was literally going from church to church. Hey, I'm in all this pain, I'm in all this despair. Can someone help me? And there was no process to help him through it. So he, with God, began to create a process where he journaled and worked his way through the healing of divorce. And then he said, God, someone should have this. Like someone should make this for people. And God told him to make it. So understand now his pain had become his purpose and had become his ministry. So when you learn to heal and forgive and move forward, your pain will now become your ministry. I always say your pain don't hold you. You hold your pain when you learn to forgive and let go. So this morning, I just want to share with you a few things that I've learned about forgiveness. Forgiveness, again, as I said earlier, is a process. It's not a one and done. So don't beat yourself up that when you think, man, I thought I forgave him and now this came back up. Feelings will do what feelings do, but you don't have to, the process of moving into forgiveness, allowing God into that space means I don't have to respond or react to the situation the way I did in the past. Okay. So the pain doesn't have to shut you down, doesn't have to cause you to go into anger, doesn't have to cause you to respond. It flickers you to say, oh, there's a little bit of sting there. Let me put some more forgiveness on this. I always want you to know too that forgiveness is a choice. It's a conscious decision. You can't happenstance forgive. You can't say, well, forget it and I'm gonna let it go. Right. A lot of people, particularly in my culture, well, we just let it go, just let it go. And they say they let it go, but then they don't, because forgiveness is not a I let it go. When you say I just let it go, you pushed it to the side, but you haven't dealt with it. You haven't gotten honest about it. You haven't allowed the true thoughts, feelings, and emotions about it to be processed. You just pushed it to the side. So I always say pain and fear, they wait patiently. They're like, okay, you want to deal with it? No problem. I will wait for you when all of your life feels like it's falling apart, and I'm going to slap this on top of it to you. So pain doesn't go away. There's a book called Buried Feelings Never Die. So don't think because you said I forget it, just forget it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't have anything to do with it, that you've forgiven. You haven't forgiven. Forgiveness is a conscious choice and decision. And so I encourage you to make that decision. Decide, okay, Lord, I forgive them. I want to forgive them. Then know that God will come in and give you the strength to forgive, to be a part of it. Like so I listen to several different things. Like I'm a Bible girl, but I also like teaching about energy. And so in energy teaching, um, it teaches that like love and forgiveness is the highest energy, right? And I think of love and forgiveness is the highest reflection of God. And so when we're in unforgiveness, imagine like our energy is low. We are in a mindset of like frustration, worry, anger, bitterness, resentful. All of those emotions are low emotions. And so imagine having to move from that energy, from that space all the time, from resentment. Imagine having to be in a room with a person that you haven't forgiven because you think they owe you something. And now you can't even be comfortable and be yourself. Just forgive. Choose to forgive. When you forgive, this is what God showed me one time. He was like, Kenesha, when you forgive, it's like a big eraser, and it erases the energy between you and the person that has offended you. So now you can be in the room with the person and you can move freely. They may have some stuff, but you can move freely. You're not thinking about what they're doing. Are they looking at you? And you need to let everybody in the room know that I got a problem with this person. You forgive it. So there's no energy exchange between the two of you. Because let me tell you something about like emotions and energy. It doesn't, just because you want it to cease, it doesn't just cease. You have to be intentional about it. So ask for the forgiveness. Say to God, God, I want to forgive this person. And that doesn't mean immediately if there's a declaration when you go to the person, you say, hey, I forgive you, right? It's forgiveness is the internal work. It doesn't even have to, a person, many times when we don't forgive someone, they don't even know. So if you didn't have to tell them, hey, I'm mad with you, I'm angry with you, oh, I know that thing you think you did that I let go, I didn't let it go. Many times we don't do that. We don't go through and confess that I'm still angry with you about that thing, right? We just go silent, or we cut people off, or we distance ourselves. So if you don't need to go tell them that you're still mad with them and yet you harboring all this energy, don't you get that it happens the other way around? You don't have to go say, hey, I forgive you. It's internal work. When you forgive them, your energy shift and change. Love, peace, and joy now has an opportunity to come into your heart and into your space. So you may be thinking, Kenesha, okay, cool. I hear you. That sounds cute, but how do I forgive? There are, Pastor last night gave 6 ways to forgive. I'm going to share with you guys three that I found that really has helped me. One way to forgive is this was so powerful. I heard Iyanla Vanzant say this. She says, forgive yourself for believing that the situation needs to be different. That helped me so much. I was like, what? So forgive yourself for believing that the situation has to be different. And so once you begin to just forgive yourself, meaning, you know what, Kenesha, I received that the way things happened, as horrible as they may have been, was exactly what needed to happen in order for God to get the glory of my life. Okay. So now that's one level of forgiveness between me and God. The second forgiveness, maybe for the energy between you and another person, acknowledge the hurt and pain that they've given you. Remember, I said, don't just push it off. Don't give yourself this crazy idea of, well, I'll just forget it. I'm gonna just let it go. No, you're not just letting it go. Acknowledge this hurts, and this hurts like heck. And this is a heavy burden. And oh my God, but this is something I learned too. This in my when I was in school for pastoral counseling. Pain needs to be witnessed. What do I mean by that? When you decide that you're going to forgive someone and you have to acknowledge the hurt and pain that they caused you, find a safe person, therapist, coach. I would suggest a professional. Friends are great, right? But here's what I've seen happen in friendship circles when it comes to forgiveness or you trying to share your hurt and your pain. For some reason, when you're sharing your hurt and pain, a person feels the need to share theirs too. So it's almost like they kidnap your moment. And I don't like that. Learn if you don't know how to hold space for a person, meaning I'm gonna just be here, I'm gonna hold space for you, I'm gonna listen to what you have to say. I'm not gonna interject my situation. I'm not gonna, as I hear you say what you're saying, I'm not gonna reflect on, oh my God, I remember a time in my life when it was like that. No, I'm holding space. Therapists and coaches should do a really good job at holding space for you because pain needs to be witnessed. And so, in order to forgive someone, put yourself in a position where someone can witness and acknowledge your pain. Oh my God, I'm really sorry that happened to you. That must have hurt like heck. They are acknowledging that you felt what you felt. So now you've put it out there. You've acknowledged it. You maybe even feel the feelings again. So because you've gone through that process of speaking out, I'll call it getting the pain out of your heart, out of your mind. Now your heart is open for forgiveness. Now that you've done that, you've acknowledged the pain. Now you can shift your perspective as to why did the pain come into your life in the first place, right? So you go like, oh my God, because what happens when we don't move in the process of it, we're thinking anyway, Lord, why did you let this happen? Lord, I don't understand. God, I'm a good person. Like we're in that mind, right? Bad things happen. God allows us. We live in a sinful world. God has his perfect will and his permissive will. So bad things are going to happen. So instead of getting stuck in the, Lord, why did this happen? Why did it happen to me? Now that you've done your process of, I revealed the pain. Someone has witnessed my pain. Now I can say, okay, God, what did it come to teach me? What can I learn from it? Maybe it taught me resilience. Maybe it taught me that, man, I'm a really good person, that I have a good heart. Maybe it taught me that, wow, I trust people too quickly. And I don't want you to build a wall where you don't trust anymore. But sometimes we let people in too close that don't belong there, right? And I'm not asking you to build a wall where you no longer trust, because in marriage, right, I had to learn to trust my husband again. But before I could trust my husband again, I had to learn to trust God. Then I had to trust me in God, and then I could trust my husband. So that's what that process, shifting the perspective. Lord, what did this situation come to teach me? It taught me that I had been betraying myself most of my life. So even though I was experiencing betrayal from my husband, I learned that I had been betraying myself most of my life, because I had seen it happen in my younger life, and I was running this cycle, this pattern. And so that shift came to break the pattern, right? And so now I had to forgive Andre. I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive my parents, because betrayal had been a strong spirit that had been rolling around in my world forever. And then the last thing I would encourage you to do, release it. You've acknowledged it, you've shifted perspective. Now release it. God, okay, I surrender, I give it to you. But in releasing, when you really learn to forgive and you move to a different level of healing, help someone else. Pray, help someone else who's experiencing what you have gone through. And another thing, I think this was Joyce Myers teach this, and I've been looking for the Bible scripture that supports this. It says, when you truly forgive, bless the person. Now, blessing doesn't mean, okay, I'm gonna go give them my money. It doesn't mean I'm gonna go do a thing for them. Sometime when I was going through the process, I would just pray, Lord, help me to forgive them. And will you do something good in their life today? And sometimes I would pray that prayer for some people that I needed to forgive. And it would be begrudgingly. I'm like, okay, Lord, bless them. That's for me. It's not for them. So now I'm moving and shifting to a whole nother level that not only am I forgiving, I'm asking God to bless them. So listen, I pray that this message has been a blessing to you. I worked really hard to stay on for only 15 minutes. I've gone a little bit over my time. If you are the person who's watching this and you're like, man, Kanisha crazy. I can't do that. You can. And if you need help with that, that's what I do. I am a mindset relationship coach. Why do I say both? Because everything is mindset, right? And now in relationship, whether you're in a relationship with someone else or just simply the relationship you're having with yourself, we may all find ourselves needing help. And that's what I do. So if you're that person who's watching this and you need help with that, reach out to me. Go to my website, verythoughtfullife.com, and book a free call. Let's see if I can help you. Also, if you are in a marriage situation and you want couples coaching, starting November, I'm so horrible with dates, Sunday, November 17th, I think it is. We're starting our next Think Your Way to a Better Marriage cohort. We're going to have more information for that on the website coming soon. But if that is something you're interested in, you want to stick around, keep following me every morning, 6:15. Follow me on my socials, go to my website, you can get my newsletter, but stay connected because I want to help people heal in their marriages, heal in their heart, grow, and move into all that God created you to be. I want you to have an amazing day. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe to these videos. Have an amazing, blessed day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.